The first opinion is وحدة الآفاق. We have just one horizon. The second opinion says no, there are multiple horizons, so each geographical area should go by their horizon, by their area. Somewhere far, the moon is sighted, that's not binding on them. They cannot follow that. Now, what's the legal evidence behind this? Now, there are a lot of discussions and legal details here. I'll just summarize them for you. Those who believe in ta'addud al-afaq, the multiplicity of horizons, having multiple horizons, they've mentioned two main arguments. The first argument is that the new month in the Islamic calendar is just like a new day. What marks the beginning of day and the end of day? How does our day end? Sunset. Which sunset? Florida's sunset? California's sunset? Iraq's sunset? Your sunset. That's how you establish a new day. Sunrise and sunset, right? And that is local. It depends on your exact location. Now that the day goes by your location, why not the same for the month? The month should also go by your location. Why? Because the day starts and ends by the sunrise and sunset. And the month starts and ends by what? The moonrise and the moonset, let's call it, right? It's a type of moonset where you have a new moon and then the moon ends. Basically, it's the same concept. Just like with the sun, you go by your local area, with the moon, go by your local area too. How do you feel about this argument? A lot of scholars have not accepted this argument, by the way.
It's the same sun that goes around Earth, so that means the time is different.
When it comes to the sun, obviously you have various sunsets and sunrises based on your location, based on your longitude and latitude. But when it comes to the new moon, how many new moons do we have? One new moon, right? One new moon that starts the month for the entire planet. You don't have multiple new moons or months in each geographical area. You have one moon for the whole planet. Once there's a new moon, there's a new moon for the whole planet. So it's not like you have a new moon every day for you to go by a local citation. You have one new moon for the entire planet. So many scholars have rejected this first argument and they say no, that's not sufficient argument to establish the multiplicity of horizons. The moon is different than the sun. With the sun, we get the idea, each area has a sunrise and sunset every day. But when it comes to the moon, you just have one new moon and the moon ends, goes into a different phase. See, the moon just goes into that phase once. And therefore, that's not something that is accepted by a lot of scholars. That's the first argument. The second argument, and this is a pretty strong argument, let's see how you feel about it. Many scholars who believe in the multiplicity of horizons, that each area has its own horizon and moon sighting, they say that the Prophet ﷺ and the Imams ﷺ, they usually did not ask about other areas or even neighboring areas. And they should have been concerned about those other areas. Because that has an impact on their fasting, on the Hajj, on many Islamic obligations. So how come we don't see in our body of ahadith the Imams asking travelers, I'm in Medina, the people of Iraq, did they see the moon? The people of Yemen, did they see the moon? The other people, did they see the moon? We don't see the Imams really concerned about that. They just went by their local moon sighting. If you had one horizon, such that any part of Earth the moon is sighted, it has implications on you and you go by that, we should have seen an effort by the Prophet and the Imams to get reports from other cities. Because if you get a report from a neighboring city that the moon has entered, that's binding on you. But we don't see such an effort. The lack of such an effort by the Imams indicates what? What does it indicate? That the moon is established by local moon sighting. If somewhere 500 miles away in Yemen and Iraq the moon is sighted, that has no consequences on me. They go by their own citing.